Hello and welcome to another booktube video from me, Lauren, from Lauren and the Books, and more sunshine is here. The sunshine cannot keep away. Today is my mid-month wrap-up. So I don't always do a mid-month wrap-up, but when I do, it's because I've read quite a few books. So far, so far this month I've read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and listened to an audiobook. So I thought rather than try and cram them all in a sort of 15-minute video at the end of the month, I would just spread them out. So I've turned them up the wrong way, so now I can turn them back to the way of which the order that I read them in. However, I will start with an audiobook that I have finished this week, and that is Girls Will Be Girls by Emma O'Toole. This is an audiobook that I have listened to before. I listened to it last year, I think. Really enjoyed it. It was one of my favourite books of last year. It is Emma's study on gender and sort of some case studies involving herself and how she sort of dressed quite androgynously. She shaved her head, she grew her armpit hair, she had boyfriends, she had girlfriends, and it's like an experience of gender and being a female from the point of view of Emma. I really enjoyed it. I feel like it's really accessible, it's really interesting. I gained just as much from it this time round as I did the first time round. It's really well written. The audiobook is particularly good. The whole thing isn't narrated by Emma, but the first chapter is. I would really recommend it. If you are into books about gender, as I am, then this is like, I feel like this might even be the one that got me started into enjoying books like this. So yeah, really loved that, gave that 5 stars. And the rest of the books, we've got a hell of a lot of 5 stars going on here, guys. I've got quite a few of these little guys that I've read this month because it's Femmeuary, so I've been reading all books celebrating women and by women. And this is We Should All Be Feminist by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. This is Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie's TED Talk that she did a few years ago on feminism. There are bits in this that I could literally just read forever and ever. Not only is she an absolute beautiful writer when it comes to fiction, when it comes to non-fiction, she's just bloody amazing. This is sampled in Beyonce's song Flawless, and if I can just read you out some of the bits that she says that are sampled, because I just feel like they're really important. So it says here, we teach girls to shrink themselves, to make themselves smaller. We say to girls, you can have ambition but not too much. You should aim to be successful but not too successful, otherwise you will threaten the man. Really like, so amazing how we like impress upon girls how important it is to be married, like marriage is the ultimate goal and things like that. I just love her, and again, this is a really good starting point for feminism, and just, yeah, amazing. 5 stars. The next book is a short story collection. It is The Breaking Point by Daphne du Maurier. I haven't read any Daphne du Maurier for quite a while. As you may all know, she is one of my favourite authors. This short story collection, I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars, and I really enjoyed it. However, there are some sort of references to black people which aren't like great, but the thing is it's what's been said like at the time that she was writing. However, that doesn't mean that I have to enjoy it, so that's why it's been sort of marked down to a 4 stars. But I really did enjoy the stories in here. The first one here was called The Alibi. Really loved it. I read short stories in the bath, and I read it in the bath, and I called David and I was like, listen to this short story I've just read, and I basically regurgitated the story, which is about a guy who sort of has a bit of a turn and decides he wants to murder someone, and then decides to start he will murder someone on the pretense of him renting a room from them, and it all sort of like the fallout from that, and it was just bloody brilliant. There's also a story in here which was had some really lovely description, I can't remember what the story's called. It's called a strange name, Ganymede, and it's set in Little Venice. If you just listen to this description, it's amazing. Here we go. But a black straggling cloud like a gigantic hand blotted out the stars as he spoke, and down came the rain onto the piazza. Umbrellas went up like mushrooms, and those without them spread across the piazza and away home like beetles to their lair. Oh, I just love her writing, and yeah, I really thought that the stories in this were great. So yeah, 4 stars for that. Now the next one is a 5 star, and I bloody love this. This is going to stay with me for a really long time. I've read some such good 5-star books so far this year. This is The Proof of Big Bones by Laura Dockrill. This is what the book will eventually look like, but I really bloody love this proof with all these little drawings around. And this is about Bluebell, who is a body positive, sassy 16-year-old, sort of at a point in her life where she doesn't know whether she wants to stay on at school and she's quite keen to become an apprentice, and it's all told via a food diary. So she suffers from asthma, and she's told early on in the book that she needs to lose some weight, even though she doesn't want to lose any weight. She's really happy the size she is. It's never been a bother for her, and she's asked to keep a food diary. So every single entry is about food. So here is trifle, hot eggs, maybe Mexican style, cauliflower cheese. The whole way through the book, everything is told through food, and I just love it. It's written by Laura Dockrill. I've read Lorelei by Laura Dockrill, but this was just top of the pile for me. I absolutely adored it. This is what I needed when I was 16. I absolutely needed someone like this to tell me that it was fine to be what I was told I was, a little bit chubby. It's absolutely fine. And I just really love this, and there's a bit in here, and it's just so much advice through a fictional YA book. I really love it, and I'm not a big YA lover, but this I just loved, and I know I'm going to revisit it. But there's something here. Let me. So she writes it almost as an open letter, because she's writing it to the nurse, and like she sort of, it becomes like an open letter. So it says here. You know, whoever is reading this, confidence isn't something you can buy on a shelf in a chemist and roll under your armpit and protect you. Confidence isn't something you can simply dream up or manifest. It comes from a place deep down. It's a muscle, just like a bicep or the imagination, that needs training and attention. It can't go to sleep. Self-love needs reminding, needs activating and strengthening. You have to love yourself. It's the start of everything. The rest will follow naturally. And I absolutely cannot tell you how much I believe in that. So as I said, like I've made a video on body positivity before, and I will link that down below. But one of the things I don't mention in the body positivity video is that I had to sort of teach myself to love myself, and to be like, yeah, I'm this size and I don't give a shit, and things like that. And that passage there just absolutely encapsulates the way that I taught myself to love myself, and everything else just followed after that, and I've never been happier in my life. And I just feel like this book is just amazing. It is going to be published on International Women's Day on the 8th of March. I cannot urge you enough to read it. Buy it for the teenagers in your life, buy it for the old ladies in your life, buy it for you, buy it for men, buy it for everyone. I bloody love this. And if you want to win a signed copy of this, there is a giveaway on my channel, which I'll also link the video down below, because I cannot tell you how amazing it is. And aside from anything, it's got some absolutely beautifully evocative language about food in here. Like I could open this at any point and read you something about food. Let me see if I can see it. Okay, so this I've just opened it at any point, and this is about avocado. But it says here, I cut my toast, a salt crystal cracks under my tooth, and for a second I think it's an eggshell, but it's not, thank goodness, because eggshell loves to get stuck in your teeth and turn to sand, which turns to chalk and ruins your day by making you think too much about what it actually is and where it came from. Like, how about a chicken's body? Absolutely gross. So yeah, maybe that's not like the best thing to make you want to think about food, but like every single bit about food is amazing. And yeah, I really love this. Amazing. The next one I read was a pitch book, and it is Great Women Who Made History by Kate Pankhurst. I gave this 3.5 stars. This is just a selection of great women throughout history. It follows on from Fantastically Great Women Who Changed the World. It's just got a whole selection of people. Elizabeth Blackwell, Saida Al-Hurrah, Qui Jin, quite like a few people that I'd never even heard of. So really enjoyed this, and thought the illustrations were lovely as well. Very good. Then the next one I also gave 5 stars, which I bloody loved, and reading this alongside Big Bones by Laura Dockrill was just amazing, because as I said, that was all about food. And this is Eat Up by Ruby Tando, and this is a book that absolutely fills you with joy about the idea of eating, which I think it might even say on the back. This book won't tell you what to eat, and it won't give you a magic formula for health and happiness, but it will fill you with joy at the idea of food, which it absolutely did. It's got amazing end papers, and it is just a delightful recollection of memories about Ruby and food, of recipes that have made her happy, of times that she's really relied on food, at times she hasn't wanted food, and I have absolutely loved this. It's really amazingly written. I think Ruby Tando is one to watch. I'm going to be picking up all her cookery books because I just think she's amazing. I feel like I'd marked a few points in here which I wanted to read out. There's one. So this is called... Oh right, okay, so this is really good. So this is a section about eating with the seasons, and oh god, this is about coming into spring as well, so perfect for today on a really sunny February day. If you don't mind, I'm doing a lot of reading out from these books, but I really feel like You deserve to hear them because they're all so amazing. It is spring and the world is creaking into life. The trees shrug off their winter ache, arching their boughs and flushing green with tender new leaves. The ground begins to stir with new life, and every shoot, berg and bud scurries into action, laying the groundwork for a summer glut. This is a wonderful time to start thinking about eating seasonally, because this big spring awakening is already about newness, growth and change. The more gracefully you can yield to the seasons wax and wane, the more firmly you'll plant your feet on the ground and feel part of this world, this place, in this moment. Eating seasonally is about being present, weaving yourself into the earth you inhabit. I just love her, and the recipes in here are amazing, and the language used, and just the beautiful language and description of food, and it just made me feel amazing about food. And yeah, I really, really love this, and I feel like it's amazing, so I really would urge people to read it. I feel like it's all a bit bothered at the back, but it isn't, and it's gorgeous. It's like really, really lovely hardback. So yeah, and then as I said, I've been reading quite a few of these little sort of books about feminism. This is The Beauty Myth by Naomi Wolf. This is a abridged version of The Beauty Myth that Naomi Wolf originally published in 1996, I think it was. 1990, sorry. So this is 18 years old now. A lot of people had said to me that they feel like this is quite dated now. I feel like I read it like this is the exactly same fucking shit that we're going through now, that we're going through in the 90s, like making women competitive over their bodies, making women hate their bodies, making women use language such as, oh, I'm really jealous of that girl's insert here, hair, abs, bum, fanny, boobs, etc, etc, and just how we've beauty has been made as a sort of currency to trade in, whether it be advertising, whether it be trying to get what you want in life, and just yeah. And I just found it, I really enjoyed is a hard word to use with this, but it reiterated everything I already knew and pulled it out of my brain. So yeah, I gave that 4 stars. And then the last one I've read this month has been another Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie book, and that is Dear Ijeawele, or A Feminist Manifesto in 15 Suggestions. And this is another short book by Chimamanda. This is a letter to her friend. Her friend had asked her what advice she would give, oh, got a bookmark falling out, what advice she would give for bringing up her daughter a feminist. And she gives 15 suggestions in here, and the suggestions are all just amazing, and just not even like radical stuff, just like completely like stuff that I wish people had said to me when I was growing up. And yeah, so for instance, speaking, like this links into her TED talk, never speak of marriage as an achievement. Find ways to make clear to her that marriage is not an achievement, nor is it what she should aspire to. A marriage can be happy or unhappy, but it is not an achievement. We condition girls to aspire to marriage, and we do not condition boys to aspire to marriage, and so there is already a terrible imbalance at the start. And yeah, it's just brilliant, and again, a really, really great introduction to feminism. Like, yeah. So those are the books that I've read so far in the month of February. As you can see, there has been a hell of a lot of 5-star books already this month. Amazing, amazing, amazing. But my favourite has got to be Big Bones by Laura Dockrell, but very, very closely followed by Eat Up by Ruby Tandoh. Like, as I said, these two as a pairing are just amazing. I feel like as a gift as well, they would just be amazing, like gifts for things. So yeah, so those are the books that I've read. How have you guys reading been going in Femmeuary? What have you guys been reading? Have you read any of these books? And what have you got planned for the rest of the month? Would love to hear, and I will see you all again soon for another BookTube video. Goodbye!